What I wanted to talk about was the ego and how it gets in the way of confidence.
Well, it's a big subject. The ego is the label that humans apply to where they stand. We're not trying to talk you out of having consciousness that is focused. We just want you to focus on the inner being ego.
So what I've learned from Eckhart Tolle was ego is negative. Ego is your negative state of mind. And ego is your doubt, is your fear. Ego keeps you from what you're wanting.
Well, there's a label then that when you define that label in that way, then all of those things that you say would be what your experience is. But ego is just a word, and you could say that ego is a point of focus. So if you took your egotistical self and you said, I'm going to do something that feels good to me today, and you took your egotistical self and you focused upon the beauty of a sunset or the beauty of a beast or something, and you got yourself tuned in, and then you took your egotistical self and you did something that he would like. You quieted your mind. You quieted your mind as in meditation. So you stopped thought. That's what meditation accomplishes. And when you stop thought, you stop all resistance. And when you stop resistance, you allow your vibration to rise. And guess where it goes? To your super ego. It goes to the consciousness of who you are, because you are a point of consciousness, and you can call it whatever you want to call it. We know why so many people point that out in a negative way. We're putting you in two piles. You can go to Eckhart Tolle and you can say, well, I talked to Abraham, and Abraham says we're all in two piles, and we're either in the pile under the source or we're in some other pile. And he would have another way of defining that too. But we have to tell you that if your beingness never ceases to be, if you are an eternal being, and if all of these lifetimes you've honed out what you really want, and what you really want is the best of all that you've lived, and then the source within you is focused upon that, can you imagine the bigness and the goodness of that point of view?
Imagination is big.
And so we don't know why you want to call that a positive ego and that a negative. In other words, we call it alignment in this moment or not alignment in this moment. So what's your point? Where were you going? Because you had a reason that you were going where you were going. And we're appreciating how easily it was for you to understand what we were getting at. You said, and that ego causes what? Insecurity? Was that the word you used?
It stops my momentum of my wanting. Because I see it as a negative thing instead of seeing it.
You see what you're doing? You're giving back to us the seminar that we gave to you today in different words.
Yeah.
What you're saying is, I'm so wrapped up in the what is that I can't move forward. And then we say, but the what is has caused you to launch some rockets of desire. And those rockets of desires have congealed, and your inner being's over there, and they're calling you forward.
It trickles in for me. Yeah. It trickles in. That wanting, it trickles in. And
so what do you want? This is a very poignant, and we're not beating up on you.
Yeah,
we can just feel the power of your ability to get to where you want to go, because we've laid a groundwork that makes you ripe and ready for this. So what is it that you now know that you didn't know when you framed up this bogus question?
I'm a newborn.
What do you now know? What do you now know that you didn't know when you thought that's what you wanted to talk about? We talked all day long to head that off, and we were not able to head it off. Because you've practiced that for so long, and so has everybody else. It's not easy to suddenly begin approaching yourself from a vibrational standpoint. It's not easy to see your world through the eyes of Source when your world is accustomed to having these knee-jerk responses to things. But we wanted to awaken within you an understanding of the laws of the universe, and an understanding of how your inner being really feels, and of what's over there, and what the potential is, what the potential of joy is. And these kinds of conversations just keep you all spinning in your juices as you debate, what is the meaning of this, and what is the meaning of that, and what is the meaning of this, and I need to contemplate that, and I need to think about this phase of my life. And we say, no, you don't. Here you stand as this powerful being who has only one thing to be aware of. What is my, right now, human relationship with my inner being, who is all that I have ever asked for to be? What's my relationship with that? And you can tell by the way you feel. Do you feel optimistic, or are you sort of worried? Does this feel like an easy thing to do, or does it feel complicated?
It's new. It's new. That's what it is. It's very, very new. I feel like I'm being born every day now. Yeah. Every day. I'm born again.
Well, every moment's a new moment, and every moment there's a different combination of beings. This combination of being, right here and now, is entirely different from what this exact bunch of people was a few hours ago. You are different. You're in a different vibrational place. And as you move forward into your days, the difference that happened as a result of these hours that we've been together will be reflected in the way things unfold. And our asking of you is that you just be alert and aware of the difference in the way things unfold because of the shift at your axis. There's been a shift at the core of that which you are, and you've let it in varying degrees, and you'll see the difference in every relationship that you have. Relationship with people, certainly, but relationship with everything. Relationship with your body, relationship with the world, relationship with politics, relationship with money, relationship with everything has shifted because you are now aware of a vibrational reality that you hold ownership. You've got the title and the deed to all of it, and all that was ever necessary for you to experience the deliciousness of it unfolding for you is to sync up with it and let it flow in. But the tripping point for so many of you, and we're going to go back to the analogy that our friend was talking about the vehicle. So we were visiting with a woman the other day who was talking about her work environment, and just use the word vehicle. It's the vehicle that I'm right now earning my living with, and so forth. And so we seized on the word vehicle, and we said, it's like here you are in this vehicle, and you're moving along in this vehicle, and it is satisfying you or not. It's doing whatever it's doing as you observe it. But as you're driving along, you look over, and there's another vehicle there that is fresh and new and a better representation of who you now are. That's what you're going to notice in the next hours even. So now you're moving along in that vehicle, and it's what it is, and you didn't change that much, and things are a lot the same, but you are shifting, and you are feeling better, and you are leaning more in the direction of allowing yourself to feel who you are, and you look over and there's another vehicle. So you just get in there and off you go again. No great difference. It's just incremental differences. But each time you shift a little into this different vehicle, you have access to different people, to different conversations, to different memories of your own, even to different dreams that are coming out of your vortex. And then we said to her, and this is the point that we really want you to hear. Most of you, with that analogy, you think that this vehicle is going to take you to this place that you want to be. And you just want to get in the vehicle that will just get you there. And we say, there is not ever going to be a vehicle that will get you there. It's going to be a constant state of new exposure to new contrast that launches new desires that you then find alignment with. And once you become at one with that idea, once you understand that there's nothing that's going to rocket you to the place that you think you want to be, that isn't how it works. There's just the next and the next and the next. So don't you think, dramatic pause, drum roll, don't you think that since this is the inevitability of the eternal nature of all of us, don't you think it's time to start just looking for the positive aspects in the vehicle that you're in? Don't you think it's a wonderful thing to stand where you are and ask your inner being what your inner being sees about where you stand? As you have that mindset, then the richness of where you are stops being that negative ego. You're still in the same vehicle. You're still in the same body, but you're using your mind to focus in a way that serves you rather than defeats you, in a way that empowers you, in a way that takes you, yes, more swiftly to where you want to go. But friends, we want you to know, since there's no end to the journey, why are you in such a hurry? If there's no end, and you know what your answer would be if you could individually answer? I'm not trying to end the journey. I'm just in a hurry to get to a place I like better than the place that I'm in. And we say, therein lies your problem. If you want to be someplace else because you don't like where you are, you can't get to a better feeling place. So that's why you just keep chugging along. You see what we're getting at? Did you get that?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good way of hearing.
Yeah, sure.
You have been consciously introduced to your true leverage. And it's throwing you a little bit because it's simpler than you ever thought it would be. In fact, it falls in the category of almost seeming too good to be true. Can I really just follow my bliss? Can I really just follow my bliss? And so we want to leave you with these universal, non-physical inner being mantras. This is what your inner beings want us to say to you. You are in the exact place that you meant to be, and nothing is off schedule. Nothing is remotely wrong. Everything is right on track. And from this point forward, your conscious awareness of your motion is going to be a keener experience that you will each understand. There are a lot of people in this world that are here with you, and not any of them came to please you, but many of them will. Don't let them suck you in to forgetting what you heard today and remembering what you learned before that doesn't serve you. Don't look to other humans for your harmonic points. Oh, you're going to find a lot of them. But look to the source within you who will lead you to the humans. Because if you let source lead you, then when it comes, the two of you together will experience the power of the co-creation. You're already doing a lot of that, but you've been doing it unconsciously. You are on the brink of rapid unfolding. The money that you've been wanting is ready for you to receive. Don't freak out. Don't panic about it. Don't take score about it. Just notice it softly. Notice the subtle ways that the universe begins yielding to you so many of the things that you want. And nothing is off limits. You get to have it all. There is nothing that is off limits. Your lover is ready for you. Your money is ready for you. The environment is ready for you. There is nothing that has gone wrong. There is nothing in the world that you need to worry about. There is nothing that you need to push against. There's no place that you need to maneuver yourself to be in order to be at the right place at the right time. You have all of the understanding that you would ever want or need to have in order to consciously be the receiver of all of the things that you've been asking for. Your desires will never end. You're not ever going to feel satisfied. With each new thing that you allow into your experience, more will unfold. And people who don't understand, who begin to watch you, will wonder if you are not a little greedy as you begin to allow what will look to them like more than your fair share of abundance into your experience. Abundance of good friends, and abundance of good times, and abundance of the things that you've already identified that are wonderful about life. You must understand that it is supposed to be that way for you. You are meant to thrive. You came to be the creator of your own reality, and not one of you said, I'm going to create one I won't like. Not one of you said, I'm going to go create a reality and I'm going to hold myself in deprivation and sacrifice. Not one of you said that or meant that. You've just stumbled into that conclusion because you couldn't find your way out of the egotistical entanglement of the Cheesecake Factory menu that you think is what your life is all about. Are you sort of getting what we're getting at? And so as you leave the building and as you move out into your greater world and as you begin playing with the people that you're accustomed to playing with, just radiate, you can't help it, but just radiate who you are. And don't spend any time in the next few days trying to explain to anybody anything that you're about. Because if you take the essence of what we've been talking about here and you try to explain it, these would be the accurate words that you would say to them, and it will not go over well with any of them. But these are the actual words that you would take away from this gathering. Dear one, I've decided to please myself a whole lot more than I have been. And while I love you, I'm going to leave the pleasing of you to you for a little while. I'm not going to stand on my head in any ways or jump through any hoops in order to get your approval or even your attention. I'm just going to give my undivided attention to me in the world, and I'm going to do my best to bask. And if anybody asks further, you might tell them some of the other things about focusing and isolating. I'm going to pay attention to how I feel, and that's going to be the reason that I spend time with anybody. I'm going to be with those who are really fun to be with. I'm going to be with those that I enjoy the conversation with. I'm going to let all of my choices be about how it feels to me. And I love you so much, but I'm going to look to you like the most selfish person that has ever walked this earth, because I'm going to be the most selfish person that has ever walked this earth, because I finally understand that in my selfishness, when I'm so selfish that I must be in connection with all that I am, then and only then will I have anything to give to anyone.